Hey guys, in this video we're going to take a look at how to do transformations in Godot. One quick note, transformations involves a lot of linear algebra, at least a subset of linear algebra, such as being comfortable with matrices, knowing what active and passive transformations are, things like that. If you don't know that, I'll have recommended resources on linear algebra, the parts that you need to understand, in the description of the video. But if you don't know linear algebra, some of these concepts might not make intuitive sense for you and you'll just have to kind of memorize it. I'm sorry, so either you have to go learn the linear algebra or you kind of have to memorize the syntax that I'm showing you. Those are your two options. This is not a linear algebra tutorial. That would be a very, very, very long tutorial. So I'm not going to cover linear algebra, okay? But having said that, if you don't know linear algebra really, just kind of memorize the syntax and stuff that I'm telling you, I guess you could get by. Your option. Learn a little bit of linear algebra. I'll have some resources in the description, or memorize. Okay, so here's a key concept about transformations, right? You need to think about how nodes in your hierarchy, in your scene hierarchy, they each have their own local coordinate space. So here what I have is the global coordinate space is represented by this green color, and then I have a child of that global coordinate space. This is the light blue, and then that thing has two children, so this is the dark blue. So this is like a visual representation of the coordinate spaces if you have three nodes in your scene, right? A parent node and two child nodes. Let me show you what that would look like in Godot. So something like this, right? Here you have your parent right here, and then you have child 1 and child 2 over here. And this guy, the parent's coordinate space, the origin is over here. Positive x goes this way, and positive y goes that way. Child 1's, the origin is here, the positive x goes that way, and the positive y goes that way. And then child 2, the origin is here, positive x this way, positive y that way. So I'm basically drawing just their coordinate space here, right? Now, let's say I put a point somewhere in this world, right? There are several ways for me to specify the coordinates of this point. What is this point relative to? So if this point was relative to the parent, like this guy, then here's what the x value of the point will be, and here's what the y value of the point will be. If the point was relative to this child, then here's what the x value would be, and here's what the y value of the point would be. And furthermore, if the point was specified relative to this child, here's what the x value would be, because it would be negative because it goes along the negative x axis of this guy. And then here's what the y value would be. That would also be negative because it goes in the opposite of the y axis of this guy. So see, same point, but depending on relative to who you want to specify it, it has different coordinates. And just to hammer the point home, you could specify this point relative to what's known as the global coordinate, right? Your reference point for everything. And you can kind of think of this as the root of everything, right? So here's what the x value would be, and here's what the y value would be. Okay, so notice that every node, right, in your hierarchy has a local coordinate space. Well, the transform object of that node kind of represents all the information needed for its local coordinate space. How do you access the transform or the local coordinate space of a node? Well, it's just its transform property. So node.transform. Whatever the name of your node is, put a dot and access its transform property, okay? Now this transform property has a bunch of sub-properties. So the origin tells you basically the origin. So like here for this guy, for example, right? The x property tells you the x direction. Sometimes this is called the forward direction, depending on what your definition of forward is. If you don't get that, kind of ignore it for now, okay? So this is the x-axis and this is the y-axis. So again, going back to this example, for this node, right, the origin would be here, and that's specified relative to the parent. The x-axis would be here, that again is specified relative to the parent, and the y-axis is here, again specified relative to the parent. Okay, so how do we use Godot's syntax to do the mapping that I showed you visually a couple minutes ago. Here it is. Again, if you understand linear algebra, this will make perfect sense because we're just doing matrix vector multiplication. If you don't understand it, you're just going to have to memorize it. Either learn a little bit of linear algebra or memorize if you just want to get by. The choice is yours. I'm not going to tell you what to do. So to map a point, let's say that the point was given to you in local coordinates and you wanted to map it relative to your parent, right? So let's say that the point was given relative to you, so your local coordinate, and we're talking about this node right here, right? So if this point was given in local coordinates, then this would be its x value and this would be its y value, right? So what if you wanted to map this point to your parent? So you wanted to get the same point, but relative to your parent's x and parent's y, so relative to this. So you want to go from this to this. So local to parent. How do you do that? Here's how you do it. For your child node, right, get its transform property, then call the xform method of the transform property. Pass in the point, and what you get out is the point relative to the parent. So this is how you go from local to parent. How do you go backwards from parent to local? So if the point was specified relative to the parent, how do you make it be specified relative to you? Here's how you do it. There's two ways. You get the transform again, and then you get the inverse of that transform, and you call the xform method of that guy, passing in the point. Or you can kind of take this little shortcut, which does the same thing in the background. You get your transform, and then you call xform inv, which stands for xform inverse, pass in the point. All right. How do you go from local to global? So sometimes you might be really deep in a node hierarchy, right? You don't want to just map a point from local to parent. You don't want to map it to your grandparent. You don't want to map it to your parents' 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 parents, but you just want to map it relative to the global coordinate system. This is something you want to do very often. So how do you do it? Well, you access the global transform property of U, right? The node that is local, and then you pass it to the xform method of that. That's it. How do you do global to local? Well, the opposite of that. Get the global transform, get the inverse of it, and then pass it to the xform method of that. Or you can take this little shortcut, which is similar to what we did over here. All right, another one is you might want to map from one node to a sibling node. So not to a parent or anything like that, but to a sibling node. So in our node hierarchy, it would be like trying to map a point from this guy to this guy, or vice versa. How do you do that? Well, the trick is you take the point, let's say it's specified relative to this guy, so it's local to this guy. First you map it to global, right? So you get it relative to the global, and then you do a global to local on this guy. And that's what we do over here. I'm not going to just read the code for you. If you want, you can pause and read it, but that's all we do. We get this point relative to this guy, right? We global transform it. We get it relative to the global, and then for sibling 2 is this guy, sibling 1 is this guy. We get his global transform, and we do the inverse of it, passing in the point. Pause this a little bit, let it sink in. I'm sure you'll get it. All right, so how do you? So I mentioned earlier that the transform property kind of represents the local coordinate space of a node. So its origin, its x vector, and its y vector. You can't, though, directly modify that variable, that property. But you can modify it through a bunch of other stuff. So if you want to set the origin, in other words, set the position of your node, here's how you do it. Just modify the position property. If you want to set the rotation, modify the rotation property. This is in radians. There's also another property called rotation degrees, and you guessed it, that's in degrees. Often you want to move forward. How do you do that? These are kind of like little patterns now. Well, to move forward, sometimes we define forward as the positive x-axis, but depending on your convention, you could say forward is negative y, I don't know, whatever. But usually people make it positive x in Godot, I guess. So let's say if forward is positive x, how do you move along the positive x? Well, here's how you do it. And again, If you understand linear algebra, this will make perfect sense to you. If you don't, you'll just kind of have to memorize it, because this is not a linear algebra tutorial. So you take your node, you get its transform, you get the x component, so you get your x vector essentially, you normalize it, right? So by normalizing it, you're making it a length of 1. And then you multiply that by the number of pixels that you want to move along the x-axis, all right? To move backwards, simple. Once you normalize that x vector, multiply it by 1, this will flip it, and then multiply it by the number of pixels that you want to move. This is a more general case, so how do you move along any vector? Well, get your position and add the vector that you want to move along to your position. All right, before we get to the summary, I want to show you kind of a little bit of code. So again, remember, we have this hierarchy, right? A parent and 2 children. And here I have a little bit of code. I'll put this in the description of the video so you can kind of, pause and reflect and look at it and play with it by yourself. But I'll go through it just a little bit. So I'm basically, calling all the code that I showed you in the slides. That's it. And then I'm printing it. Here, I'm showing you how to map from local coordinates to parent, and then I'm showing you how to map from parent to local, how to map from local to global, from global to local, and from sibling to sibling. I'm not going to go back through this code. You can look at it in the description of the video if you want. I'm just putting it up for you guys so you can play with it, because this is literally what I showed you in the slide. So I'm not going to waste your time and show you something I already showed you. Now let's go ahead and summarize. All right, so here's everything as a summary or reference for you. Again, the important key thing here is kind of remembering that as you put things in a scene hierarchy, right, that each thing that you put in there has their own local coordinate system. So kind of imagine it. And then think about mapping a point. If you have a point, you're like, okay, what is this point relative to? Is it specified relative to me? So local coordinates. Is it specified relative to one of my sibling nodes? Is it specified relative to the global? Do I want to map it relative to me? Do I want to map it relative to a sibling? You just kind of think about that, and then you do it. And here's the code for how you do it. So that's it for this tutorial. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.